Say sticks and stones, they might break your bones, but the 9mm it'll pull your dome. I'm talking about the toe tagging, the body bagging, man, niggas are dying, mamas are crying, casket buying, who me dying, leave my family crying. Hell no, I cause them bloodbath and showers. Send me commissary, mother, fuck the flowers. Thoughts of sorta of leaving my daughters. Hours and hours of fears running through my mind as I pick up the Zig-9. Beef starts with the shove, then ends with the shovel. And niggas standing on your corner reminiscing of you, but your ass is out and you're dead and gone. So who'd you rather be, the murdered or the murderer? Niggas got me stressed, I got my check in my vest, then I say, who job bless, let no man curse. But one of us will leave here tonight in a hearse, when we'll be tried by 12 and fertilizing daisies, crying mamas and cousins and crying babies, due to the fact that death is a must. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. Niggas getting bust for in God we trust. So if you're coming to my town and try to slow the dough down, you must be casket bound, cause I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6. Nigga, I saw my name in the book at your funeral. The zigs on my hip with that extra clip, cause I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6. Naughty, Saturday night and we like to party. But folks are fucking around, so we might catch your body. Early Sunday morning, don't really wanna hurt nobody. Say what they tryna get, I already got it. Chump motherfuckers just be scheming on my shit. But little do they know I got the zig on my hip with that extra clip, and I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6. Oh shit, murder commit. And there goes another statistic running through ballistics. The witness say I'm wicked, but that's how I kick it. Cause I'll be the bastard who blast and didn't get blasted. Boy, kiss some caskets. I put your wig back, kid. Now sucker, look who died. Body will be identified. Mama and Papa will cry. Your bitch ass man says he'll testify to see me try. But here's that slide upon the same corner where you did. And I'm still facing the bid. Cause I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6. Nigga, I saw my name in the book at your funeral. The zigs on my hip with that extra clip, cause I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6. I told my man Philip Phoenix, rest in peace. I told my nigga Shakim, rest in peace. I told my man Dillion, rest in peace. I'm thinking about a lot of people. Fuck you.
That fucks me up because I'm always thinking about my brothers that I lost, man. Lost 9 in 2 years span once. He said Phoenix in there. Head blown off at the Haagen-Dazs ice cream shop on South Street in Philadelphia. DJ Phoenix, rest in peace, indeed. God, that son of a bitch fought like hell. That was hard for us, man. We got that on fucking camera at that Haagen-Dazs. That was not pleasant, man. Sorry to start it out macabre, guys, but you know, sometimes we got to acknowledge that part because it's as natural as taking a poop, is it not? Yeah, who else? Ron Ruba, rest in peace. Pete Dash, rest in peace. Nizzo, the Black Cowboy, rest in peace. He went through a car windshield, but it was no like whoopsie. He was either running from a SWAT team or a rival gang down in Miami. I miss him. He was the best, man. Nizzo. Everybody he left behind was a piece of shit, but he was a king. Isn't that how it works? Zlupko had a brain aneurysm standing in his kitchen. I was like, damn, man. I said, you went out the fucking way you lived, my brother. Tried by 12. That song's a classic by East Flatbush Project, but it was the zeitgeist, you know. It was the zeitgeist of the 90s and the early 2000s, you know. It's almost like, well, I won't go there any further. Because everybody's in crypto and just so happy. Excited, aren't we? Lots of good things portend, I'm told. I've been waiting for a long time, but I still hold faith. Yeah, so I guess we're coming off of a victory, but Thothschild never gets a victory without ruffling a few feathers, you know. Sometimes I wish I could make some people see some things, man. Like just, you know, we all have those fantasies, right? Wrap your hands around their throat and squeeze until they see the light, right? Oh man, it took a lot of discipline, inner strength to not retort today. Because I'll tell you what, a couple people asking for it, one in particular. Yeah, I might have fouled up my mood a little bit, but I'm also sleep deprived, and I also got my 4 littles coming. So we get to go from, you know, streaming and swinging a hammer to doing dishes. So yeah, onward and upward, man. Oh God, coming off such a big victory. Why would Thoths be such a downer? I guess it's my fucking nature. But it was a victory yesterday, guys, and I want to thank all you regulars who have kind of stuck with me through all of this. I mean, we showed and improved yesterday. We made a point. It was a confluence of me being a bitch ass and complaining, proper scheduling, you know, a nice shtick, grand design, 3-fer. It was good. 3 good guys on there. Third element being all of y'all, man, for real. Like, thank you so much, guys, for sticking with and for hanging out with me and for continually coming back to these streams, right? That's a beautiful thing. And I hope that where time allows, I'm always going to be operating in reciprocity. I ain't even trying to fuck with you today, dude. I will tear you a new one, man. So we're going to skip that. Yeah, what do I owe you guys? What, I mean, really? I mean, what do I owe you? What have you done for me? Actually, my entire life, other than come here and get free entertainment, What have you done for me, children of the grave? Something between belly lint and absolutely nothing. So 8 minutes is going to chap your ass. I mean, come on, man. Jesus Christmas. Gelt, what's up, my brother? There's the man of the hour right there. Invoking patience. That's nice. Hey, DJ, that's right. I know of no such thing, my man. I really don't. I'm not the one for that. We could talk about 𝕋𝕙𝕻ℎ𝕻𝕻 Trismegistus or Slum Village's first album. I even know a little bit about cryptocurrency and the blockchain, but Alpha, that's an Armstrong. Agenda 69, Agenda Yin Yang. We do. If you're me, that's all you do. I was telling these motherfuckers when they twist my arm for a fucking Quattro Cinco, I was like, yeah, I should do that because it would be really cool once my spine has finally degraded all the way and my pecker can't get hard anymore. I could get the best mags for my wheelchair while you guys are out here in your 40s like, oh, I'm rich. Fuck all y'all. Oh, man. What is this hot mess? Okay. A lot of shouts. Good brothers. Torn. Divergent. Platinum level. Now there's some wisdom. That right there is alpha. Mobius, welcome, my friend. How you doing? So we had another train wreck yesterday. For as much as yesterday was a success, it was a victory. Analytics yield the truth. It topped Crispy and Hexfire episode. It topped Whales Only as the feature episodes. It was pretty bananas, man. We had the most concurrent viewers, fastest to 50, 100, 150, 200 views and beyond. 250 views, fastest to that. And then it came off Butter Lovely too. I mean, we even were blessed by what I think I can determine would be the first ever instance of like a breaking news release of information by I was going to say Hexastani again. Hexy Bastard yesterday dropped that science on us about the disbursement per claim. What a wild thing that they would come up with a number that just randomly had 420 and 369 in it. Motherfucker. The universe is really amazing. So I got to deal with this train wreck yesterday where we have something. If you're a producer, if you're any kind of a sound artist, if you're a DJ, if you're a studio guy, you understand what a monitor is and the function of your monitor. It's going to alert you to some function of what could be going on in the final mix. StreamYard's completely failed. Like I could not get any indication that anything was in queue or was playing right through StreamYard. Now I know this wasn't my error because I spent an hour on a live chat, another hour going back and forth on emails, and an hour on another live chat thingy back and forth. And we still didn't troubleshoot it. So it basically came down to I had to choose fucking shitty Chrome and be able to have audio, right, playing a window share, or I could go into Firefox or Brave and have my hard work I put into dumping a bunch of material and shit into the platform, into my branding. I chose that, but if this, interview or anything during the stream takes a turn, I might actually have to back out of my browser and come in through another one. So, boy, I'm really glad I spend all that money with StreamYard. I guess you're gonna have problems with any platform. So they've been pretty good to me so far, but that just sucks. All right, a lot of y'all just saying hello to each other. That's cool. That's cool. I always like the flames. Thank you for that, Elliot. Elliot's good. Elliot didn't say anything about not hearing me and not seeing me, so we must be in good shape on that front. Hex on Air is all reggae. Not a well, our guest, I'm sure our guest has a wide scope. Me, that right there, I am the most stuck up fucking musician, audiophile, producer bitch you ever met, dude. I hate everything. I like a certain flavor of underground hip hop, a certain flavor. My homeboy said the other day, I like Bloodhound Gang. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad he's not in a room with me. He felt bad. So he tried to make it up to me. Now, here's the problem. He's a foreigner. He thought sharing Eminem and Kid Rock would do it for me. Guess what? I did have to pull the 380 out of my mouth. I know you were trying, though, buddy. I know you were trying. Yeah, I hate it all. Classic jazz fusion, only a certain vein of that, underground hip hop, and then like honest folk musics, you know? Like y'all will be like, oh my God, this Eminem's banging. I'd be like, I want to listen to the bagpipes because to me, there's more genuine soul in that than in that because that's the kind of dickhead I am. But our guest today, who we're going to have, he's the right kind of party DJ, guys. He really is. Because unless your name is Thothschild and you're asking for Benny the Butcher, Griselda, Freddie Gibbs, or Jay Dilla at 3 a.m, after he's been DJing for 23 straight hours, you're probably going to get your request with a smile. Guys, the show, if you don't know, is first movers. That's my response to like OG and some of these guys, for reasons that I could never quite understand, shy away from the term. What could be more gangster than being called original? Like, I think that's the fucking shit, dude. Especially you guys who were here when you did not know. The road was not so clear. Like, back of your mind, man, maybe like 0.5 of 1%, you know, like Richard Hart's a scammer. No, he isn't. No, he isn't. You go in your bedroom and cry for a little while, and you're like, I hope he isn't a fucking scammer. I have an on board who the whole fucking community knows and sucks on his willy now. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him. I regret onboarding him, but when I tried to, he said, oh man, I heard of that shit. That shit's a rug pull. Oh, and that guy, he's a scammer. Then he turned $500 into $50,000. How did he repay me for that? Tune into a future episode. Did I miss the beats? Oh, brother. I'll tell you what, Alan, your persistence and ferocity on this front is going to be recorded. Jesus, you could tell I'm burnt. Rewarded, young man. I'm going to hook you up, man, for real. Life's a bitch and then you die. There it is. Not entirely. There's a lot of beautiful things. Empathy, compassion. I like the laud. Thothschild. He said you missed everything. I can sing for you. Time check. 4:48 in the PM Eastern Time, Thursday, October 20th. It is what? Day 10? Tell me, guys. 10 what? 1050 something, I'm assuming, in Hexaco. I haven't even looked at the chart in a while because our token has kind of felt like a stable coin. But I'm sure I'll catch wind when it makes a break, huh? But yeah, we're going to bring in the one and only DJ CRYPTOMATIC here. DJ CRYPTOMATIC. In a moment. Bombaclot. Rothclot. Hey, there he is, farther down the line, but still with the same shit. Oi, oi, man. Red Squirrel. What is he got there? Is that? Oh my God! Is that a fuzzy woodland creature? Oh, on an icosahedron. Oh my God, that's fucked up, dude. Grow up. Children of the Grave. I'm just an Children of the Grave. I'm just an asshole piece of shit. My bad. Thoughts. He spelled thoughts right. Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner, ladies and gentlemen. He did not say that hoe over there. My brother, thank you for the respect, man. I knew that if I put in enough time in this community, some dumb cocksucker like you would eventually come correct. Now I'm in a better mood. Elbow cough. Still don't get elbow cough. But I like facing reality. What's up, my brother? No, I don't get the sarcasm. Good to see ya. Nate Stakes. Thank you for coming back. All of y'all, man. Y'all know I'm just fucking with you, man. If the fit hit the shan, I got your backs. DMT, my brother. I apologize, my dude. I have not been able to circle back around on our collaboration, but it will happen. Believe me. I think that's a wonderful thing when some, chock full of attitude filled fucking middle-aged fucking hip-hop cracker gets with some chock full of attitude middle-aged Hessian. I think it's a good combination that holds promise. Now there we're talking. See it inverted. It was a black heart on my chat. Put it in here for the public. It turns white, positive, sunny, happy. Don't call me no OG. Well, that's probably because you came in on day 922, motherfucker. I'm just playing, dude. Call me a Hex Maxi. Got the bag in the back seat. All crypto, no sleep. That's probably where my fucking shit mood comes from, bro. See, when the love of my life threw me in a garbage can, no, it was well after my mother died. It was after the divorce. No, after I lost the house. It was after the pandemic took my business. God, guys, come on, don't get it twisted. No, she waited until all that stuff. And then she threw me in the garbage. So you're looking at 6 months that I haven't really eaten or slept for 6 months. I didn't even know that was possible. I guess I have been doing that. Holy shit. Ooh, that might explain a lot of things, huh? Maddie Allen's like, yes, I knew it. Fuck Thothschild. Eat, motherfucker. Sleep. Then you won't be so fucking crazy and mean. Ask me about my money. I won't speak. Crypto gains. Could I borrow $20? Rocket ship to indebtedness. Thothschild to 369. It'll be fun. No good deed goes unpunished. My brother, you are talking to the fucking Christ child on that one, brother. I've lived by first principles ever since I came up in here. The only suck-ass thing I think I ever did in Hexaco was get myself in the pickle, where you guys were like, we appreciate you, we want you. I was like, I have to quit because we're going to get evicted. And you guys had to run to my rescue. That was suck-ass. I hated that. I hated it. But you guys ran to the rescue, man. And I love you for it. I come in. Welcome. You guys got to know how much, I really have a spot in my heart for some of y'all. And Rags, got you whales and Rags. And then I come to have this fondness through Rags for crypto heartbeat, right? And it's funny because the man and I are in some very obvious ways so very very different. But I've literally heard that man testify to axiomatic principles of life. And I swear I hear myself talking when Crypto Heartbeat's talking. It's really weird. The reason I bring it up in relation to Motley's comment is on the stream where they were talking about how to claim Texan, which is really exciting, right? He was talking the same shit that made me scared of him the first time I ever saw him on stream. The morality stuff, I'm with, man. Make your yes, yes, your no, no. You know what I mean? I'm into morality. But for me, morality means I can be a really good person and still say, cock sucker, penis, hood, fucking vagina, sand, whatever. That's just how I am. I wasn't abused as a child, but I was abused on the streets of Philadelphia. I don't know what it is. I just like to swear. To me, it gets the point across. But then again, maybe I'm broken. No, I'm definitely broken. Ain't no maybe about it. I come into the stream and Thoughts is calling me a dumb cocksucker immediately. I wonder if he's still here. Oh, yeah, he is. Cool. What up, Home Slice? X-Mac. This is my priest. You guys will find out someday when he doses me on stream with a fucking ounce of fucking psilocybin. You will not swear anymore. You will be nice. Oh, yeah. Well, it looks like oh, get over yourself, Ian. Come on, man. All right. Reset. Let's do this, man. Guys, first movers, we had BALLIET BRAN to kick off this whole 𝕂𝕬𝕐 5 months ago. A little later on, KNTX kicked off First Movers Official. You wouldn't believe it. It took me a long ass time to get to number 3, but now I'm going to be like, ta-dow, because we got CRYPTOMATIC today in a few seconds here. On my birthday on Saturday, we're going to do the Fin Bear. Did you guys see my joke on Twitter? Did you guys see that shit? It's really clever. And the thing is, I came up with it like right off the top, like I was freestyling. Something about his wife and the word finish. Can't remember it now. And then number 3 just confirmed, really cool. Bubble Guy, Bob Le Guy is going to be here. I think we said Monday. I'm pretty sure we said Monday. So it's going to be like bam, bam, bam on the First Movers. And that is this, rabble-rousing fellow. Half the people in the community want to build a statue. Half of them want to burn me alive. But you cannot deny I give my dap to the OGs who don't act like dickheads. Motley, wait for it. Motley, you want to be interviewed after Bob? I love you, bro. Good man. Mac, sorry. You're going to have to stay the priest. All right, guys, without further ado, on the wheels of steel, DJ CRYPTOMATIC.
Hey.
I made you wait like a motherfucker.
You have been waiting in this bitch like for, I don't know how long. Is my mic all right? My mic sound nice?
You sound really lovely to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, man, Rax, you're gonna want to go back and watch the first 20 minutes of this. I'm in a mood. Yeah.
It's been a long day, man, but let's do this. I'm on some raw bass, like I want to rock right now. I'm raw bass and I came to get
down. I'm not internationally known.
But I'm known to rock the microphone because I get stupid. You see, outrageous. You hear that? Outrageous, he said.
We're old. Oh, that's funny
where.
that you would say that. Angry
Mm.
hamster in the house, because
Oh,
I did see Blood Honey Badger and Bumpy Knuckles running around. But Cryptomatic can tell you, we have a button on our mixers back in the old day. You remember that? It's called the hamster button.
the hamster
Yeah.
style. I know the turntable setup.
Yeah, man. Now I wonder, you guys are on that funky power supply that we don't have over here. We're on different voltages, right?
Yeah, I had a
Yeah.
pack of converters transistors with me because I was bringing my German shit over to Vegas. When I was DJing there.
Oh, did you really?
That
Oh
famous
my
night. Yeah,
God, dude.
So because I would never trust like the PA guy, like because that happened to me in London. I told them, look, I need a mixer that can do the Serato and ideally a Pioneer. If you can do that, that will be nice, because I then have to check my extra luggage for the mixer.
That's the DJM series. Are they still doing them DJMs?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That one, or like now is the DDJs, the one that you see there behind me on that picture. But it needs
this is
to
your
be
actual setup then. That's behind
It is,
you.
yes. That's
Okay.
where when I'm DJing and live streaming on. That's it's
those
a picture, like it's a green screen.
Yeah. Are those ortophons? Are those ortophons that you have on
Yes, the scratch ones. Yes.
Oh, are they the Q-Berts?
Yes, the Q-Bert
Oh,
scratch.
my man. Wow. Now that is a needle, guys. That's a stylus that will, if you're not careful, it will literally drill down into your vinyl.
Yeah.
And you know how, like, when you use an eraser on a pencil, it leaves behind that schmegma? That's what a Q-Bert needle, if it's not balanced correctly, will do to your vinyl. You'll be like, oh my God.
And I wrecked a couple of these needles too. When you're not careful, like, they break really quick. And then if you try to clean it and you touch it wrong, and then it's a mess. But if they work and if they set up right with the weights and everything, then it's a good system.
I've done that. And this is a good comment for it from Sir Edward Strychrome. How you doing, brother? I've been drunk after a gig, and I'll have my little brush, and it was a particularly schmeggy night in the club, and you're like, oh, that will never stand. I'm not putting that in the box like that. Let me fix that. And you pick up the thing and you go, ka-ching, and you're like, oh, there's $160.
Yep.
Okay, like, bad shit, bro.
Happens. It happens. No, but I asked the PA guys to provide me with this mixer, but it has to be Serato, because that's what I'm DJing on these days, is Serato digital. And of course, what do they put there? The record box version, which is not compatible, because you have the two systems, so your mixer these days, it has to be either Serato fitted or record box.
How long before the gig was supposed to start did you find that out?
And I brought my shit with me just in case, but of course I come to the venue, and that was at the London, the 2-year Hex anniversary, which was my first playage for the Hex community. And of course it was the wrong mixer. It was some Denon. It wasn't even a Pioneer, and it had of course it was the record box version, so that wouldn't even work with my laptop.
It doesn't even have the connectors the man would need.
Nothing.
Or the guts.
So, it wouldn't even work. So that's why to Vegas, definitely I brought my own stuff, because obviously you can't trust these people if it's that specific, So, but that was a fun night. That's when we first when I first met you.
You were like,
at the
𝕋𝕙𝕠𝕥𝕙𝕐, bro? I was like all enthusiastic too. I had landed. I'd driven 16 hours from Northern California to Las Vegas. I went to Rainmaker's place. I slept on a children's bunk bed. No shit. For about 3 hours.
His place. Okay.
Yeah, I slept for 3 hours. Now, mind you, I wake up and like look at my phone, and like Tony's like walking up on stage, and security guards are freaking out. Wild SJ is there in front of me for the first time in my life with her doggy hat. It was like fucking surreal as shit. And I'm like, where is this all happening? And I was like, wait, this is happening here. I'm here. I'm in Las Vegas. This is wait. Oh, fuck. I'm going to 𝕋𝕙𝕠𝕥𝕙𝕐 party. That's right. I remember thinking, God damn, I'm underdressed.
That was a wild night, man. And I want to apologize to you in public. I did already in chats and stuff, but I was like really, because when you came up to me, it was like the last half hour of that night, and you were than trying to get me into some, academic conversation about
Right.
vinyl
I didn't
and
know that you had
90s.
been like through the grinder.
But
I
let me
really
set
didn't,
the
man.
scene for you. Like I was, it was the last day of the conference at the Excalibur, so I spent all day there, and I think it was the final day where Richard was also streaming into the event, and then
Yeah.
so I had to leave earlier because I was supposed to be at 4 o'clock already in the afternoon at the Nagabo's mansion to set up everything, to do the sound check, to get everything right. So I was there, and I had I wanted to get some music right for the gig, because Naga had the special, like, the sequence
Oh, I
of
know he did.
7 songs that he requested, and then when I was at the venue, I realized that I had them in the wrong format, so I needed to re-download that shit.
Oh, shit.
Again, and I was like just in time, and then already at I think it's 5:30, then the people started rolling in, so I was really playing music already the whole night, and then of
So
course
there's
the
like
thing.
blood coming out of your ears by this point.
No, but the thing was there that it was a bit of a drag from a DJing perspective, because of course, not I don't want to say sausage fest, but it was like, the guys, we came after a 2-year pandemic where the Hexicans had only been able to be in contact over the internet and be in chats and be on stream, and this was like the first possibility to really meet up in real life. So there, nobody was really interested in any partying and any music.
Everybody's liver was already like in a wheelchair next
They
to
were
them.
out by the pool and chopping it up, and I don't blame anyone. I was all cool with that. I said, okay, so this was going to be all right. Then let me be your background music to all this. And then so I was playing along, playing some tunes, and then also Nagabo, he requested, don't you play any shitty music at my parties. Like, it's only R&B and hip hop, no house music, no thing. Like, he was giving me a playlist literally.
Yeah.
It was a job. Yeah.
We call that micromanaging in the DJ industry. Man,
but it's all good. I
what...
love that music. So it wasn't a problem for me, but
Sure.
maybe because, the Hexicans are predominantly white and a little bit goofy. So maybe they mixing it up the evening with a bit of house and a bit of a different style would have maybe helped the whole thing, but that's not what he wanted. So we stuck to but this wasn't no Houston Fifth Ward barbecue cookout.
Right. Yeah, it's like I would have got a funny vibe about that back in the day, because I've never dug when my melanated brothers are like the oddity for the crowd. Like, oh, there's the black guy here. Like that used to drive me batty. But I think in Hexico, I've really been impressed by a transcendent dynamic around here.
Yeah.
And it reflects my own belief after being hung up on it my entire life. I mean, guys, I don't know if I ever admitted this to you guys all. And I know I said I went to college for 4 days. I studied TV and radio journalism. Do you know what I minored in? African-American studies, except back in those days, we called it Black Studies, because that was Barbara Sizemore, who was Betty Shabazz's best friend. That's like Malcolm X's wife. That's who I studied under. So, I was hung up on the culture and on what made us all so different. Then I found out I have North African blood. Because my great grandmother fell in love with a Barbary pirate. No, I'm just kidding. He raped the shit out of her. But
that's a cool story, though.
But the thing is, it's like it literally does not matter to me at all anymore. I sound like a hippie fruitcake that I used to want to choke back in the day, but I literally just want to be around good people whose yes means yes and no means no. That's it. I could give a fuck all, about the rest. But you walk a fine line, Cryptomatic, because you and I both know, being from the generation we're from, you have to tip your cap. You have to tip your cap in respect to the originators.
Absolutely.
And hip hop didn't start with the Beastie Boys, my friends.
I tell you, I'm in hip hop. I'm in the culture since 1983. Sometimes since when I first heard, I was what? I'm born 74, so that's 6. I was probably 7 or 8 when I first heard on German radio was Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, The Message. Can you imagine?
Okay, you ready
As a
to have?
white
I'm going to blow
boy,
your mind.
as a white boy growing up in the middle class. It's not the suburbs. It was a big city, but still, we at that age. My father was listening to classical music.
Wow. Right.
We always
right.
had classical music around the house. And I used to look for different stuff.
Yeah.
And then I heard this song, Grandmaster Flash, and that beat, that delivery, as
I
an
know what you mean.
8-year-old, when you've never
Ye-
been exposed to anything black, anything music in that kind of genre, nothing at all. Because what's on the radio in Germany on the pop stations, you don't get to hear that. There was
Well, nowadays it's David Hasselhoff, so that should tell
that's
the
still on,
Americans all they need to know.
been looking for freedom.
Oh,
No,
he
that
knows the
must
song.
have
No, I'm just kidding.
flicked a switch in my head that and ever since that moment, I'm hooked on hip hop music. It's that beat, it's that delivery, it's music I've been waiting all my life to hear and didn't know it. That
Yeah,
is
it's the music of
what
the
that did to me.
spheres. Yeah, the music of the spheres for me. I wanted to tell you real quick. Miss Lady Quinn says, DJ, love, 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 love. And
Thanks for
Hex
tuning in,
Max
you guys.
says, watching two musical nerds nerd out musically is something special. Thank you.
Yeah, you had a great run last night. I'm sorry I'm not drawing these big kind of numbers, but the people in the chat here, that's
Dude, are you
high
kidding
quality.
me? We got
bro.
more now than I usually have.
That's
Still,
high quality people here in the chat. So salute to everybody tuning
no
in.
doubt,
Appreciate it.
no doubt, my brother. No, do not say that. You're still above my average. I am not saying that to rub your ego. It's true. So you said 74. I'm not going to say, but let's put it to you this way. I think I might have you by a year or two. We're going to go back to the summer,
Right.
and we're going to go to doom, 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 doom. Dum dum
Dun,
dum
dun,
dum
dun,
dum
dun,
dum
dun.
dum
Yeah,
dum
yeah,
dum
Cosmo.
Yeah, baby, Nucleus. My first 45 record was Nucleus. Jam on it, jam on it,
And
jam
Superman,
on
he
it.
came to town and see who he could rock.
Yes, yes. Now at this time,
Just played that last week on my stream.
did you really?
Yeah.
Did you really? There's some serendipitous
Yeah,
for
I
us.
did a Miami bass just for fun. Some DJ Magic Mike, Two Live Crew, and then of course Nucleus and some early breakdance that fits right in with that. So I did that last Friday in front of Cabana's show just for fun.
That was my first 45 record that I bought, with little dime. What did that cost me? 70 cents, maybe not even 50 cents probably. But that was a big deal when you're a little boy,
Yeah.
Because now you're showing your autonomy from your parents. Now, my mom was exceptionally, God rest her soul, she was exceptionally fresh because my mother was really young. She was like 19 when she had me. So she was listening. I'm not shitting you right now. She was listening to Jaco Pastorius, Weather Report, Quincy Jones, all the Stevie Wonder stuff that you would imagine, Blackbirds, Donald Byrd and the Blackbirds, my mother. It was an incredible education she gave me in the music. It blew my head wide open, and I didn't appreciate that until much later. I got into the Weather Report when I was studying jazz and when I was like 22, 23, and all of a sudden this wave Cryptomatic comes over me like, this is the records that my mother was listening to when I was a child.
Wow. The only thing that I had, because it was back in the early hip hop, you were also like kind of what you're wearing now with this jacket and the hat, that like the clothes defined what music you listen to in the
8-ball
80s
jackets. I just remember them 8-ball jackets, man.
And at my school there was two guys. I was one of them, and another guy who was in a he was one class up, who wore a Public Enemy bomber jacket, which he got from, because they were touring Germany in the 80s, and he was probably at the concert and got it from a merch stand there. And my father happened to be like some executive. He was in IT, and he had sometimes had to fly over to the States for just business meetings, like real just one or two, and then he would come back. And I said, Dad, I've seen on Yo MTV Raps, this was a bit later. They're all walking around with the Raiders windbreakers, and I had a White Sox baseball jacket, and he would bring me that back because you couldn't get that in Germany at the time. There's no way. And so I was the other kid in school that was wearing these totally weird American NFL and baseball clothes to represent for hip hop. I was like that. So we were this guy and me, we were the aliens in that whole school. You can imagine of maybe 500-600 people.
All right. So the question then is, y'all were breakers. You were breakers?
I was actually a BMX bike kind of guy. That was sort of my sport, connected with trying to do that flatland freestyling like that. That's what I was trying to do.
Pretty cool.
No, but it was for the love of the music, because you had to define, if you were into hip hop, like you had to wear the fashion too, like how it is.
So were you guys doing parachute pants? We did parachute pants. Remember the parachute pants?
No, it was just the jackets.
Okay. Well, we used to have the parachute.
I went to a hip hop jam once where one guy was wearing
zippers from head to
Flavor Flav clocks around his neck, which looked totally ridiculous. So that's in Germany, right? So absolutely crazy. No, but all we had in terms of radio back then was because I grew up in Mannheim, which is close to Frankfurt, is pretty much middle of Western Germany, and there were a lot of army barracks, the GI bases. Like in my hometown, there were 6 or 7 massive army barracks, US forces, pretty much circled around the town. And so they had their own radio station, which is the AFN, American Forces Network Radio.
Oh, okay.
So that was before Yo MTV Raps came along.
Yeah,
that was my only window into hip hop music. That was because it was not zero playage on German radio. So there was this AFN, and at 8 o'clock at night, they had 1 hour with DJ Don Tracy. I don't know if you're familiar with DJ Don Tracy. He is apparently, I researched this later, he's from San Diego, California.
Okay.
And he was the DJ who played every night at 8 o'clock. 1 hour of soul and disco. So it was not really hardcore hip hop or anything, but it was more disco really at the time, or whatever was hot in the American disco charts back then. But he would sprinkle the LL Cool J "I Need Love" in there. Or he would play.
I know what you mean. Those guys were always about the vibe for the ladies, because if you got too hip hop, you could chase the ladies away, and nobody wanted to chase the ladies away. My God, that is true.
Some early
story.
Houdini records, like Houdini with Millie Jackson, "Be Yourself."
How many of us have them?
Yes. And the freaks come out at night.
The freaks come out at night. Yes. Oh my God.
And then, of course, when Run DMC was on the charts, like Tricky, 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 they would also play that. But that was really it. And then, so that is all the music that I had, and the rest was really disco. And then it happened that on second TV in Germany, they had a 20 minutes, but this was later. This was 87, I think. A 20 minutes documentary about hip hop, which is allegedly this new craze coming out in New York City. And they had interviews in that 20-minute segment from all the stars that were on Def Jam, on the Def Jam label. So it was, again, the Run DMC, was LL Cool J. And in the middle of this, they played a snippet of a song by this group called Public Enemy with the song "Message to a Black Man." Okay. You know that song from the first album?
Yeah, of course I do, because My Uzi Weighs a Ton was my shit.
Hold it song up, after that.
Get up or get down.
Yeah.
Weighs a ton. Hold it up. Get up or get down.
And I had again the same moment, like listening to the Grandmaster Flash a couple of years prior. And then I listened this wasn't even a minute of that song. Of "Message to a Black Man." I was like, what the fuck is this? This is fresh as hell. And ever since that, I was hooked on Public Enemy's
And that was
music.
boom bap. You know, that was the inception of boom bap, because at that
Bomb
point
Squad.
we had gone through from taking these loops and these records, and these guys were actually shaking dance floors with drum machines now. Like, these drum machines were starting to take precedence, guys. You take the kick drum from a Doobie Brothers LP and match it up to a TR 909 or 808.
Yeah.
Forget about it, man. You knew what was going on. You knew what time it was.
Yes. And then the first record I bought with my own money was It Takes a Nations of Millions to hold us back. I only got the first album much, much later. But yeah, that is kind of how I got into this. And I didn't want to hear any other music until the late 90s. Like, I was all in on hip hop, and then it had kind of lost its way. And then some funky jazzy house music came into the mix for me. So I was working with that for a minute. But yeah, I basically lived along that whole 90s era. But it's from a perspective of living through that in Germany, where we had, like, if the groups didn't have a video on Yo MTV Raps, or were not at a major label that it was worldwide distribution, like a Sony or a Def Jam or you know, these, or a Tommy Boy, if you were not on that, we wouldn't get to hear it in Germany. We had no radio, nothing. So I am so jealous about you guys who had all this, you know.
As you give your timeline, I'm thinking, you know, it really was, I don't know if you remember, but as we slid from KRS-One in 86, 87, there was a dearth there for a year or two. And then what happened? Jungle Brothers quietly led into De La Soul. De La Soul then led into Tribe Called Quest. And that was it, because the second record that Tribe Called Quest released, called Low End Theory. Look, guys, oh my God, I'm getting fucking goosebumps. Low End Theory. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? Hey, yo, Bo knows this.
God,
Bo knows that. Bo don't know Jack, because Bo can't rap. So what do you know? The dead dog is first up to bat. No batteries included and no strings attached. No holds barred. No time for move shaking. Got to get the loot so I can bring home the bacon. Brothers front. They say the tribe can't flow, but we've been known to do the impossible like Broadway Joe. So
that's it. That's a jam.
Sleep if you want. My crew will help you get your Z's true. But here's the real scoop. I'm all that and then some. Short, dark, and handsome. Busting out inside your eye to show you where I come from. I'm vexed. Fuming. I've had it up to here. My days of paying dues are over. Acknowledge me is in there. Yeah. Head for the border. Go get a taco. I see record from the Jump Street. Eating from the get-go. Sit back, relax, and let yourself go. Don't sweat what you heard, but act like you know.
Yes. On Hot 97, there was.
I can't believe I remembered it.
You're very good. That's awesome. And on Hot 97, there was this this
Hot
radio
97.
DJ in but like later, who was Peter Rosenberg.
I know the
Does
name.
that ring a bell? Peter Rosenberg. He also does sports on ESPN or something. But they had always this thing on his podcast, which I was always listening, because they interviewed all the greats from the 90s, and they had this thing, what do you like better, the Low End Theory album or the Midnight Marauders? Like, that's that defines what kind of a hip-hop guy you are. And I'm actually on the Low End Theory side. I don't know how.
Okay, because if you're 74, I'm thinking you might be more Midnight Marauders, because everybody I knew that was more Midnight Marauders was a little later, because that album was later, and everybody that was more like Low End Theory was a little earlier. So you are like a purist. Yeah.
Although I have to say, I bought it later. I think I actually bought the Midnight Marauders first, and then I knew the hits from Low End Theory, but then I bought the album, because, you know, buying records back then, it was such a crazy expensive hobby. Being a DJ, it was so expensive, and
it broke me.
you had to have, when you're then DJing a club, ever since 94 I was DJing in the clubs, you had to have the latest shit, but there was no MP3, there was no copying, there was nothing. You had to literally buy that, or you would be whack, and the club wouldn't have the music, so you had to
usually
have
had to get doubles if you were going to do any kind of extending,
even doubles if
or
you're that
yeah.
much of a hip hop guy. Although I'm never played hip hop in clubs, I'm more a party DJ, as you said earlier. But my passion, or what I'm listening when I'm at home, that is 100% hip hop.
Well, I can tell you derive real authentic joy from it, and you're inspired in that vein. But you're inspiring to me to be in Hexco and speak to a brother who has this knowledge and has the experience. I mean, I'm sure the chat, I can pretty much tell they're getting a charge out of looking at these two guys, reminiscing like this, and they can tell. I mean, we genuinely we're touched. And if you ask me, and if you ask Cryptomatic, at a certain point in our lives, we would have looked you dead in your eyes and been like, my religion is hip hop. My spirituality is constructed around hip hop. It had that deep of a, of an impact.
But it also elevated the mind, especially in Europe, because we were not taught about, I don't know if you can actually say the word black, because for us it's black music, but I've been told it's like a racist term.
No, I don't play that. No, I don't play that.
I don't mean to be that. Like, I'm really not. How can I be
black? Because I'm sorry,
but I want to say like black history.
When I say these people, I'm not even talking about my African descended or near African descended brothers and sisters. I'm talking about these cracker ass motherfuckers who fucking would not be comfortable with a black man eating breakfast in their kitchen, but they're going to tell all the rest of us how the fuck we're supposed to view race. Let me tell you something, buddy. All my best friends were black, and I slept with about 6 black women. You fucking think about black people and then come up with some whack ass ideals. So suck on my black cock. How does that sound?
Yeah, I don't see. Oh, you wrap that black pussy around your neck.
I don't get it, man. People,
I don't even see color.
Up. People,
I don't even see color. Is like, we went through this on the show the other day.
Call me cracker. I don't care. Like, call me.
You got something to bring.
Call me Ofe. I don't care.
If you got something to bring to the table, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from, where you
and that's what skills were about in hip hop. You know as well as I do. Skills were about show and improving. You could be purple. If you could scratch or breakdance or rap or do graffiti, you had the title.
Yes.
That's great.
Man, those were the 80s. That was crazy. And then really with the change of the, the early 90s, the golden era, as we say, with DJ Premier and Pete Rock.
He just said a name. He just said a name. I almost fell on the floor, guys. You got to know what DJ
Pete Rock do or die fan. Like, I had every Pete Rock remix. I was looking for them shits on the B-sides. What's that?
That's Gangstar. Hard to Earn era on the front of the source.
Yeah.
And there's our man DJ Premier.
Yeah.
Who I met and saw perform twice. And there's a guy who I had a conversation with at the Palmer Social Club. Guru. Rest in peace. And there's Pablo Escobar.
Nice guy too, I guess. No, but I was a Pete Rock enthusiast, and that got me into the jazzy, because he made use of a lot of jazz and early funk samples in the hip hop, and that made me go research, like, where did he get these samples from, and then just like this crate digging thing, that is how I got into the whole. But it was Pete Rock was like my major influence in that. Yeah, they reminisce.
They reminisce. I got his autograph somewhere.
Maybe when you're older.
What a classic, guys. Oh, you know what? We're going to have to collaborate on the Hexagon history education of hip hop, man. I think we really should do that, because we've just about provided it here. Now, what I want to ask you and point out, guys, without Pete Rock, who Cryptomatic just alludes to, we do not have Detroit's movement led by a brother who was afflicted with lupus. He came to us he was like a Christ figure to me. He changed hip hop in about 8 or 9 years, and then he died in his mother's arms. And that man's name
is Jay.
Was Jay Dilla. Yeah, he started Slum Village.
D from the D, y'all. I heard the first on Funkmaster Flex mixtape CD, like that Jay Dilla freestyle with Q-Tip.
Ooh, that sounds tasty. Don't sell yourself to fall in love.
Yes, sir. But you say Pete Rock, wasn't it more Q-Tip who pushed him? Like,
well, he joined the 𝕄𝕀ℕ production collective with a Philadelphian who I used to know, Questlove. Everybody knows Questlove from The Roots, who's on the Jimmy Fallon show now. Yeah. It was a production unit called the 𝕄𝕀ℕ that had James Poyser, who was a Philadelphian, on piano, Questlove on drums. Common used to come in and sneak around and be like, can I have that track? Can I have that track? Q-Tip would come in and be like, no, motherfucker, that's my track. That's my track. So they got into that whole thing. But Dilla was the principal beat maker of that whole tribe. And that's what really wrecked the Slum Village kind of project and vibe, because T3 and them were like, this motherfucker's going to leave. And he left. He sure did. But before, I don't know if you remember this. Do you remember the Far Side's second album? Okay. The first album was the purple one where they're on the roller coaster. Whoa, bro. The first one's the purple one where they're on the roller coaster. Where pack the pie.
Keeps on passing me by.
Yeah, passing me by. Yeah. And no, there's other fish in the sea. That is. Yeah. So then they had that. They took that bossa nova sample, and now this is the beginning of the bossa movement in hip hop. The rim shot and the with the clave, right? Dilla figures out how to bring this into hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So that's where you got, come on, can't keep running away.
Yeah, that was in my head just now. Yeah,
can't keep running away. I must admit, on some occasions, I went out like a punker and a chump or a sucker, or something to that effect. Respect I used to never get, because all I got was upset when niggas used to be like, "It's not fool," and try to sweat a nigga like the lip. Oh my God. Dude, CRYPTOMATIC, you're killing me today. I'm loving this. I haven't thought about a lot of this shit in a long time.
Yeah.
And it's the therapy I needed, because when I came on the stream, I was a crab ass motherfucker. And now I'm
You're
smiling.
not alone in this world, bro. There are more people like us.
Thank you.
But just to finish I'm saying all this.
I'm sorry, man.
My apology, really. Back to the 𝕋𝕙𝕠𝕥𝕙𝕤𝕚 party.
Was that an hour ago?
Like, so Hexaco was there, was coming out, the ladies dressed up in style. It was a fantastic night. Nobody wasn't really into much dancing. They were all talking, catching up, because they had only seen them, on the internet for all this time. So I was all right. Let me be the soundtrack for that. And then at 9 o'clock, people like 𝕋𝕙𝕠𝕥𝕙𝕚, he was doing his thing. And I'm so happy that I was there for that night, because I don't want to toot my own horn, but if I wouldn't have been there, that whole scenario with the rappers performing their songs, if you had just hired some random DJ who doesn't know their songs, it wouldn't have worked. And these guys, although they're absolute rock stars, they're really fantastic, but at the same time, how some artists are super unorganized, like even a half an hour before their thing, they would still keep sending me instrumentals.
Oh God, I hated that kind of stuff.
Can you play this? And send it to your Telegram, and I'm already in the middle of my DJ set. Like, how am I supposed to?
But you know the phrasing of their stanzas and their delivery cadence, and you even knew when it would be appropriate to like do a mute and let a guy finish a bar line or something. So I get that.
Exactly. I was doing the ad lib on the microphone, performing to Freddie Quotes, who is on that night. He killed it, man. He's an absolute. I know he's a bit loose cannon sometimes on Twitter and stuff, but he's an absolute rock star. Like he was like really,
he's got his position, man.
He's
I'm not
rocking
going to
this
fault the
thing.
man for having his position.
And the other two guys
it's
as
not
well.
my flavor, but he's got his thing, and I got to respect it. So
Yeah,
there it is.
no, but he was really rocking it, doing his thing, and Black KC Crypto and Corey as well. And I know their songs inside out. I know the lyrics, so I was really happy that I was there to facilitate that being the success that it was. So this window of 1 or 2 hours where those guys are rocking and 𝕋𝕙𝕚𝕚𝕝𝕕 was doing his thing with his 7 intro songs that he had figured out in his head. That was the party. Those 2 hours were really rocking, and the whole everybody was up in that, and you see it on the footage, and that was really great. And then it was maybe 10:30, 11. Then people, that was over. I was still DJing, but then
oh my God, you must have been whacked out of your mind by then.
Went back to and I remember I'm there since 4, so they were going back to their chatting and the weed smoking outside by the pool, and then the more alcohol, and you had these drunken bit elderly ladies come up and like hang over the DJ booth, like talking about,
yes, because their request is the most important thing on the planet.
This music doesn't work for me.
Duly
like,
noted, ma'am.
I'm like, all right, you pick to play, right? So yeah, I need some old school. And I said, all right, let's rock that. So as I had forgotten what 𝕋𝕙𝕚𝕚 wanted, let's play some 80s soul, and that was cool. And then I thought, yeah, maybe that also didn't like really convince. Let's play some reggaeton. And then I played whatever I had in my crate, or like 4 or 5 songs reggaeton. Also didn't really draw that much, and then I went back to the R&B, and just as I had finished reggaeton, then Hex Luther comes up to the DJ booth with his girlfriend, bit tipsy.
That's his wife, yeah.
And then his wife, okay, and then said, DJ, you know what you should play? Reggaeton.
Oh my God.
I was like, bro, there was like midnight. I was like, bro, I just did that for half an hour. Didn't you hear? And then
I was out there in the pool area talking to BALLIET BRAN and Crypto Cowboy. And then MC Black stepped in the swimming pool. I remember, because a lot of people were falling in the swimming pool. I do remember that.
And then, so more alcohol, and then was last hour, and then people already trickling out again and finishing over. And I think this was then when we were ready to shut down in 30 minutes. This is then when you came along and tried to have this conversation about hip hop with me that we just had, in a way.
He was like,
but I was, at that time of night, I was just dead.
He had his bottom lip was sticking out. He was like, what are you saying to me, dog? Like, that's what your face was like. What are you saying to me, dog?
I was like, what do you want now, bro? So
I was like, play some Freddie Gibbs.
I'm sorry for my reaction, because I really like you as a person, but that was like, so that was our first interaction when we met. So I apologize in a very long-winded way.
Somehow in that story, you and I managed to do the alpha to the omega of hip hop history.
Yep. It's amazing, isn't it?
Amazing. Although we didn't say one name we got to say. So real quick, let's slide it in. Eric B. and Rakim. Okay.
Yes. That's what Chuck D said. That's what Chuck D said when he produced that, or it was on the verge of producing.
Hey, you see what Hex Mac said? I wanted you to see this comment. Okay.
I have the biggest smile on my face right now.
Isn't that beautiful?
Love you, Hex Mac. That's the brother, man.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
And I think Eric B. and Rakim, they dropped the Paid in Full album before Public Enemy was ready to shift, and they heard that, and Chuck D was like, damn, they just changed the way hip hop is supposed to sound, and apparently they had to do over a bunch of songs on the Nations of Millions album because of that.
Oh, okay.
He said that later in an interview, that because Rakim, I mean, that's a funny thing. What is your top 3 MCs of all time?
Oh, you're not going to do this to me right now.
I'm going to tell you mine.
Oh my God, this is the most important.
But this might be super controversial.
I've ever been asked in my entire life.
for me, this is Rakim #1, the God MC, Chuck D, and KRS in that order. And I don't know how there can be any other list out there. Like all this Biggie and Tupac, that's all cool, but that's not Rakim and Chuck D in terms of longevity, what they've done for the culture, the pioneerism, but also changing the game multiple times, changing the game. That is like what puzzles me sometimes, that people have a different list. Like I'm that much of a New York City purist. I only have this.
See, I'm not going to do any kind of repeat of your list, and I'm going to actually admit that I think I'm going to surrender that and defer, because I'm incapable right now of doing a 40-year list. But I could give you like my last like 15 years, last 20 years, and just like tell you, like, if I cut it off at like native tongues and said not including native tongues, but everything afterwards.
Let's do a top 5. Who you like to listen to the most?
Okay. Right now, I am convinced that Boldy James, the one signing to Griselda, which is Benny the Butcher, Conway the Machine, and West Side Gun. Those guys are all related. They brought in one other guy. The Detroit guy, Boldy James, has the most disgusting creative cadence I may have ever heard in my life. Now, you know, I know it's really hard for people to imagine that I could ever be like different or stand out, but I have some pretty weird left of center like MCs in my life. I got to tell you, when Batin wasn't smoking crack with Slum Village,
yeah,
I never heard anybody like him in my life. He did a Kermit the Frog voice on one of his raps. He's like, we're going to be doing some Frenchy. Like, oh my God, where did this guy come from? He was bananas.
Third Base did that too. Yeah.
Search and yes. Pete Nice. You know, Pete Nice is a professional baseball card dealer now. Memorabilia dealer. He's supposed to be a real slime ball too.
I heard the main guy from Mantronics is a meter man in New York City.
I heard Thothschild never got signed. Hey man,
so you're more into the new stuff. Like, I'm familiar with Benny the Butcher. Like,
okay, so I'm gonna finish that thought, and I have to say this name because he deserves respect and love and appreciation. Freddie Gibbs. My God, Freddie Gibbs. Oh, Freddie Gibbs. Oh my God. I have a playlist for you. I'm going to have to shoot that to you because you could skip a lot of mediocre efforts on the production side and just cut to the synthesis of when the track was perfect and the delivery was perfect, man. Oh, it's, mwah. You know, Freddie Gibbs, Boldy James. Right now, I would definitely have to say are my alpha. Anything, now this isn't going to be a rapper, but I have to tell you, anything that Alchemist touches, raises the MC. Like the MCs suddenly become incredible MCs as soon as the Alchemist steps in the room.
Alchemist is Philly, right?
No, he's LA, New York, little Jewish kid who his claim to fame was when Wu-Tang decided to step outside of Melanated and they let a couple crackers in, that little fella was one of the guys he let in, and he was making bangers, you know, for Wu-Tang. So it was kind of funny seeing his 5'2" butt show up with the diamond, you know, fronts, you know, and because I'll tell you, when I met RZA, he signed one of my books. Okay, I had a Jalaluddin Rumi poetry book. I had nothing else for the RZA to sign, and we were talking. And I said, "Can you sign this?" Of course, I'm between 6'1" and 6'2". RZA, can you sign this? You know, okay. His bodyguard, RZA's here to my 6'2". His bodyguards were the biggest human beings I've ever seen in my life, dude.
I met him too in 2003. I was
nice.
Dealing with the accommodation, like the hotel rooms for the Wu-Tang Clan on their Germany tour in 2003. Like, I was working with them. So I got to meet them. I had backstage passes at one of their concerts in Berlin, which was amazing.
2003
Yeah.
was ODB in jail or still alive, or
He was not part of that, and also the Method Man was not part of that tour, which made the fans go riot at the concert because they expected
I bet.
the whole set.
Oh my god, I bet.
They expected the whole set, and then it was everybody else, but it wasn't Method Man and ODB, and also what's his name? The one with the crazy jewels.
Ghostface Killer.
Ghostface Killer. Yes, he was also not there. So those.
Oh my god, how could you do that? Oh my god, that's not a Wu-Tang Clan show. If you don't have ODB, Method Man, and Ghostface,
people were throwing bottles at the stage. Yeah. It was that bad. Yeah.
Which makes me feel bad for Jizza and Raekwon. You got
they were all there.
Master Killer is sick, dude.
I was
underrated.
in Inspector Dex.
Inspector Dex. Yes.
I was at their hotel suite actually talking to them. They gave me some merchandise, which was super funny. And his manager at the time was a guy called Banger. Do you know him? Maybe. No, he was like, but he was part of that, but just managing Inspector Dex arrangements. So yeah, I had a bit of a contact with them back then. But
nice,
yeah,
nice.
So
we were really regionalized.
Yeah.
No, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, we were really regionalized because you'd think, only being an hour and a half, 2 hours from Manhattan and Brooklyn. I went up to Brooklyn a lot. It's actually where my drummer partner in one of my projects lived, a guy by the name of Dundee. We had a magical creative relationship, and then he went to work for making music for Comedy Central, and I was with a very possessive Korean woman, and that was kind of the end of our collaboration.
Right.
And in retrospect, it breaks my heart because we made some really killer music. Some of it I have on the brand here. I'll have to let you hear today. But if we could move now, I'm going to let Freddie Gibbs be my last word for now on hip hop. And I could say a lot more, believe me. He and I could have this conversation forever. But I wanted to move out. I do want to get to crypto towards the end.
We need to get to the
move into
first
a
mover.
Different, yeah, I want to move into that's okay because this is all part of it. Okay, because I'm holistic. But I wanted to move into different genres. And what I wanted to ask you is how familiar you are with one of my favorite collectives ever created, Jazzanova, your fellow Germans.
Jazzanova. I know that a little bit. I want to say it's more the Jazzanova house stuff, the house beats.
They have an instrumental unit that hits the road that's rather large, but then they have the Jazzanova DJs who will do the 4 to the floor, and I think that makes
I would know of them through Giles Peterson.
Yes, Giles Peterson. Wow. There's a name.
The UK DJ who was also heading the Talking Loud record label. He brought out London Posse, which was like the Public Enemy of the UK in the UK. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
right.
Back then, I always used to like what could be like in France, it would be I Am from Marseille. In Germany, it would be Advanced Chemistry from Heidelberg. I was always mapping out who would be that country's Public Enemy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Righteous and conscious, and for the UK, that would be the London Posse. And actually, I'm talking crap. It was Tim Westwood who produced
Westwood. I know that.
London Posse, but Giles Peterson was pushing that whole movement. He would give out compilation. It's more the acid jazz. Yeah, now I'm losing it here.
Yes, because he was the one who broke Grey Boy All Stars from San Diego, and that began that whole Fender Rhodes piano movement of kind of new jazz.
Yeah,
what'd you call it? Acid jazz kind of thing.
We call that acid jazz with Omar and
yes,
what's
I know
that
Omar.
group? What's that R&B singer and what's that group? Always There, Always There.
I knew Les Nubiennes. Did you know Les Nubiennes, the 2 girl singers from Ghana or something like that? They were French girls. They moved to Philly. Philadelphia.
Incognito is the group. Incognito, what I was thinking.
I know Incognito. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do. Remember those compilations that used to come out?
Yeah.
Like the new jazz compilations, and they'd always have an Incognito track on them. Yes,
exactly. And through that, I know of Jazzanova, but like very loose. But yeah, the name
FEDME's
does ring a bell.
Flight. You probably heard FEDME's Flight more than any other Jazzanova song, you know.
I couldn't
And
tell
that's
you a
another
track now.
that's another genre of music that's newer, but it's incorporating the clave. You know, it's bringing in the Latin or Brazilian clave. You know what I mean? It's always going to be different clave patterns, different, you know, threes, twos, threes, you know, or inversions, twos, fours, threes. You know, they're always going to be different emphasis on basically a wood block hitting another wood block, and that's the basis for where these patterns come from. It's wild shit. Now,
can I ask you one final thing before we move to crypto? Radio.
No, I will determine when the fuck we move to crypto.
Please.
We're staying on music for a second.
One more thing. Radio. You living in Philly. Did you live in Philly all the time, or were you moving around?
No, I graduated high school and left home at 17. I dropped out of University of Pittsburgh and hit the road and traveled all over the United States of America until I was homeless, sleeping in fucking drainage ditches. Then I went to Harrisburg, drove taxi cab. I quit and I drove down to Philadelphia on a whim after I got in a like fist fight with a dispatcher or a taxi cab driver there. Like he pulled out a what's those little shock wands? This fact tasers, the tasers. He tried to tase me and I cracked him in his jaw and I got in my truck and I drove down to Philadelphia. I fit right in, man. And I never left.
Okay.
You know, age 20.
But were you able to tune into New York radio stations for the hip hop?
At night you would get the
when
FM
the weather
signal.
was good.
What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was our thing, like all we had in terms of New York City radio, and this is such a big pillar to hip hop, was the damn Funkmaster Flex mixtape CDs, three of them with the freestyles. And then in 2000, Napster came around on the internet, and some guys had recorded tapes of like Stretch and Bobbito. I knew them guys. Mr. Magic radio shows, and so we were all of a sudden exposed to all this stuff, and I was like, oh my god, why didn't I know of all these things? Like so many things you hear on the records now made total sense because they made references to beef with other groups, and like we were not hearing, or like on the Public Enemy and Takes a Nation of Mills, they have this I think it's which song starts with this? No more music by the suckers. No more music by the suckers. That's lamping, right? I'm lamping. I'm cold. Don't go lamping.
Which means I'm smoking crack or whatever. I don't even know. Man.
And that was actually from Mr. Magic radio show dissing Public Enemy on the air. Like that's his voice.
No more music by the suckers. No more music by the suckers.
Because he didn't like the Public Enemy sound, the wall of sound, that noise. He didn't like it. And it's a snippet from one of his live show. And on Napster, I found a recording of that whole show where he said that shit.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine how many light bulbs?
CRYPTOMATIC, I am so delighted. You are a true head to a degree that I honestly didn't know. I didn't know. I did not know the degree to which with you.
Not flawless for sure. And maybe, not a purist like you, but I know my hip hop, man.
You do. And then he says the word element and it brings up when you said Stretch and Bobbito. I thought about the number of these groups that came through. And I'll tell you, for one Friday night, they felt like the kings of the universe, man.
Yeah.
Like they were the hot shit. And a month later, they were gone. And Natural Elements was the name of one of those groups that, I mean, those guys could do linguistic gymnastics, dude. Like those guys did some amazing shit. And a lot of them too, whether it was predominantly written or not, they were coming off under the auspices of freestyling. So they'd be doing a portion of it off the head. And I'll tell you, they would say they said some funny shit that still sticks with me to this day. The one guy in Natural Elements figured out a way to liken fellatio on his balls to blowing his derringers off. I forget how the fuck he said it, but it was something like small handguns equal his dick. And he would go off on this whole thing of, oh my God, it was so funny.
And the
Your
freestyle
bitch is
with
blowing
Lord
my
Sear.
derringers off. I'm like, oh my God, I was dying, dude. Dying.
The Lord Sear.
Lord Sear. I
freestyle
met him.
sessions. Yeah, and there's one episode that I also found where he does a voice of Lord Sear versus Razel,
Razel, the godfather of noise, the human beatbox.
like beatboxing, and who could imitate the some hip hop beats with their voice. Like, this is the crazy.
Well, when they did that fucking horn part from the Public Enemy song where they sped it up to 7 a.m.
Yeah, with the nose like
fucking,
blowing.
oh my God. They do that with their mouths.
Yes.
Like, how are you not blowing out like a vital artery in your brain and just
And he did
falling over
this,
dead?
I can't even do it, but it was crazy. And all this stuff we were not privy to in Europe, and you had this on the air like every Thursday night if you wanted to. So and then that all of these things. So I did a lot of catching up in those early years, listening to lots of Stretch and Bobbito and lots of ratios too. That was like the missing puzzle piece to my hip hop story.
Oh, I love it. Oh, and it's a good one. Bobbito, I got to know on a first name basis through Rich Medina, Jack Boogie, Train, who was Ari. This guy was one of the top vinyl collectors in the United States.
Rich Medina.
These guys opened a shop that was called Footwork, and Footwork Philly was a junior of Footwork Brooklyn, Footwork Manhattan, and then Footwork Philly. And I'll tell you, for 3 years, you woke up in the morning, you were going to get a slice of pizza, a cup of coffee, and you were going to go be a piece of shit down at the hip hop shop, which is what we called it. And that's what we did. We smoked weed, ate pizza, drank coffee, and sat in the hip hop shop, you know? Now, I remember, you guys will appreciate this. I remember when the little rumble came that there was this cracker from Detroit who could spit his fucking ass off. And people were like, you got to be joking, right? This isn't real. And they were like, no, it's real. You got to hear him. His name's Marshall or something. And it's freaky. And the kid is the master of getting in your face, freestyle, destroying you to your face, making it up as he goes. And I was like, I don't believe it, man. Fuck all that noise. That ain't even real. Then I heard Eminem spit. Getting with Dr. Dre ruined Eminem, in my opinion, because the Eminem for 2 years before that signing,
his early freestyle sessions.
Holy fuck, dude!
On the Baker Boys show in L.A. and with
Wake Up
show. What's his? You don't have the answer. Sway and Tech.
Yes.
He was up there, sitting on top of the world, spitting on Brandy and Mace.
Hey, Crypto Gains Club says Hot 97 went to shit
during COVID.
Yeah, it went to shit long before that. If you ask
way
me.
Before that. Yeah.
Crypto Butler says, how good was 2 Live Crew? Fuck shop. And then this is really nice. D5D. That's a dope ass avatar you got. Looks like the MetaMask Fox and some tribal shit. But he says, shout out to 2 OG hip hop heads. Thank you for acknowledging that. I believe it's the truth, man. We definitely
like
put
your
in
music.
our time. My commitment to the culture was such that, you know, I wasn't born with this nose. I got my ass beat for hip hop. So they even tried to take my goddamn sneakers. Can you believe that shit? Oh, man. There wasn't no fair one. There was no fair one. I called for a fair one. They said, no, we're actually going to have all my cousins kick you. It was a trip.
Wow. Welcome to South Philly. Bahamadia, like her sound in the 90s.
Tracy. That's Tracy to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She was so buttery smooth. The thing about it was some guys got hung up on it because they couldn't figure out if it was just a squirrely dude rapping or if it was actually, you know, a girl, a soprano kind of rapping girl.
The song produced by Premier, this True Honey Buns, Wanna Have Fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy lyrics in
I
that one too.
confess, CONFESS. Oh my God, Tracy. She had the verse on 𝕂𝕂𝕂𝕂 Half-Life too. Push up your lighter, up your lighter, up your
Okay.
lighter. For we spoke.
And she gave that very first shout out to the Roots, I think, on record at the end of the what was the other hit on that album?
Well, it was Clones, and I have a
When you're
story about
bumping in your
Clones.
Jeeps, you're gonna rock, right? What
Oh,
is that song?
that was on her debut. Yeah. Now, if you're going to talk about a little 𝕂𝕂𝕂 Half-Life, it's the piano lead from ding 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 ding, boom ding 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 ding.
Okay.
First of all, let's talk about these ill capers and fly ass front because they now call vapors. Niggas run up on it with guns, snatch your papers. Outline body talk is how they will scrape you from off the pavement. I hate getting locked up because that upstate shit reminds me of the slave ships. Because then the Bible never saves shit. I guess that's why every juvenile is in the same predicament. They want to sling crack and hold text and do the concept. Can't make loot when your mom is smoking up the product. I'm trying to tell ya, don't let these streets fucking fill ya. The way niggas be getting clapped, the shit will fucking fill ya. So in the wild, so in the dark, we ran wild. So we killing them. Niggas that can't stand still like fucking helium. Fake niggas, they don't go platinum, they go aluminum. Got you cloned the fuck up, son. That's why we losing them. Now that was Mars Co-op. Oh my God, I can't believe I remembered it. I'm standing in line at the 7-Eleven by Italian Market on Washington Avenue. I'm rapping that out loud. Guess who's standing behind me in line at 7-Eleven? Malik B and Mars Co-op. The guy who did the verse was standing behind me. Shit. I shit you the fuck not. It was one of the wildest things that ever happened in my life. Now, I went out with them and we smoked, and they neglected to tell me that they put some cocaine or crack in the blunt. Oh. So I walked home 375 miles an hour, and my girlfriend was very disappointed. True story.
That's crazy, man.
Oh, Malik B, man. Oh, he's another one. Too many of these guys, man. God. It's gone, too soon. Okay.
Man, those were the 90s.
You notice how we CRYPTOMATIC and I, we dipped our toes. We tried to go into some other genres, for a minute, but then we just brought it right back to
brought it right back. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
And you name your episodes after the 𝕄𝕀ℕ𝔻𝕚𝕝𝕝 the damage.
Yeah. Excellent.
What you
with
gonna
the
do
when
brothers roll up on you and you don't got your crew?
Oh yeah, come clean. Yeah. Oh my God, that label put out a lot of good jazz music that he got.
And that's all Primo produced, right? The 𝕄𝕀ℕ stuff.
Absolutely,
that's all Primo,
and all the Group Home too.
Yeah, Group Home. Oh,
Superstar.
Damn.
So what the fuck, y'all moving on up? Yes, the Group Home was thick, so all your punks heard it.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of the fiercest. I mean, you want to talk about some of the most primal, fierce music I've ever heard in my life. Now, there's a production technique that I didn't learn until a little later, but when you heard a premier kick drum followed by a premier snare,
yeah,
you were hearing 7 kick drums layered.
It's layered,
5, snare drums layered. Yeah. That was one of his production techniques, and I'll tell you,
that's why that kicks so hard.
Compression. He knew how to use compression, man. Oh,
yeah.
His drums snap.
That's why he's taken all day to put out a song. But it's a masterpiece.
Well, what's that Benny the Butcher? What's the Benny the Butcher project with the guys who aren't Griselda? It's a couple of his street buddies, and they used the Scarface for the cover of the album where they're all dressed in the white suits and shit. But that's how it is. Times is rough and tough. Did you hear that? Times is rough and tough.
No.
It just came out like 2 months ago, 3 months ago.
Okay, no.
Those drums are huge. I should be making notes of the stuff that I said I was going to share with you because I'm going to forget. I will.
Well, it's all recorded. We can always revisit.
Yeah, but my kids and my work take over my life too. It's good to have those.
Yeah, we were talking about streaming for weeks and weeks and months, and now we finally get it done, man.
It was months, yeah, because you were like,
I'm so happy.
You were like, well, I really want to talk to you about crypto, but I'd really like to talk to you about conspiracy research.
Yeah,
too.
true.
I'd really like to talk to you about hip hop.
About 90s hip hop.
Hey, man.
Let's do it all in one. Hey, we got Quattro. I'm be around. We got Quattro 5 years.
I told Balliet
some more.
I told Balliet, I told KNTX. This weekend I will tell Finn, and on Monday I'll tell Bob Lagai. I want a part 2, with all you guys, because that's where the real development of the conversation from an interview standpoint, can really be. You can really expand on some things, because you have a second to go back and marinate on it, and you think, oh, I should have brought, this up there. Could have talked about that, and it's really, it's kind of an undertaking that just takes on a life of its own without any effort, which is like Tai Chi for conversation. I love that.
My mind spray. My mind spray.
How many
Why
times
did Keith Murray
the most beautifulest thing in this world? It's just like that. I get in you.
Why did he diss him? I'm better than J. Rue, the damager amateur. He said that on record. Why? Because they were like they were a crew of some sort. I mean,
maybe peripherally, but he wasn't. Keith Murray wasn't inner circle to. Keith Murray went with Eric Sermon and Redman. Yes, right. Now Premier was Group Home, Lil Dap, Guru, and J. Rue, and his whole crew of knuckleheads. That was a different crew.
But you never saw Gangsta and EPMD beefing or whatever.
No, because they were masters. They were masters of their craft, right?
Yeah.
But the underlings, sure. Like the second and third tier guys, hell yeah.
So you think it's the little ones making noise?
Well, it's like Dr. Joseph B. Farrell says about the elites. He says they drink cognac and smoke cigars together while their foot soldiers are shooting at each other out in the street. It's been that way, forever.
Yeah.
Interesting. So listen, I do know that I'm going to probably have to conclude this in the next 15 or 20 because my body's starting to fail. I didn't sleep last night. I didn't sleep a wink, to be honest with you. So I'm going
as long as you can do. I got another.
Well, I get the kids tomorrow too. So I'm like, I think I'm going to go die for about 11 hours before I get the kids. But I did want to ask you a few questions because I think that they're pertinent to, here's the word again, the zeitgeist of what we're going through, waiting for Pulse Chain to launch. I'm always interested to hear from you guys. What was that like, man? Like, what was it like here in 4 more weeks? Did your faith in Richard at that point, and we wouldn't fault you for it, did your faith ever waver, because you didn't have the proof of life that we have now? You guys really were mavericks, and it's why I call you first movers, and it's why I call you OGs, frankly,
No, not at all. But it was different than it's now. Because we were more in touch with Richard back then. Like if you were involved with the community, you could actually talk to him on the main chat in Telegram, like in writing, but like he was there. He would answer to stuff. You could make jokes with him.
More than one word? Answers that were more than one word? Wow.
He was in there all day. That he was more on Telegram than in Twitter. So he was always around. He was constantly giving updates. You kind of knew what's going on. But yes, we will listen to still the 4 more weeks that went on for more than a year. It was like that. And I'm following him since 2017. So I've been around for the duration, and I was active in the Telegram. You can really go back. There's this archive thing. You see me there like almost a year before Hex launched. So
I found Richard at the end of 2017, and it sometimes chaps my ass. I should have been there with you. If it wouldn't have been for my timing of my last baby being born, and then
well, it's life, man.
And then she wanted to get a divorce right after the last baby was born. I mean, I wanted to be getting into Hex and be getting into crypto. As it stood, I could only manage to like pick up a bag of Ethereum, pick up a bag of Bitcoin, and then listen to Richard streams. And I can point out to you in Richard streams where he's talking to me. Like when he's doing the one show talking about drum and bass, and he goes, Square Pusher. He goes, Square Pusher. Is that drum and bass? And I was like, oh, yes, it's drum and bass, Richard. You know, that was a 2018 or 2017 interview with Richard, you know.
Like I mean, not dissing him right now, but it was different back then because he was doing more live streams, but like conscious ones, like with hip hop, you know, the conscious movements. Not all this unboxing Louis Vuitton. But
I made a meme. I don't know if you saw it, but I think you would agree with the sentiment that I convey. It's Richard sitting on the airplane by himself, looking a little bored.
Yeah.
I just inverted the whole color scheme to make it look ethereal. And in the thought bubble, it says, I dance to a song that they cannot hear.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I will never judge that man the way that I would judge most men, because he's living a life that I could barely conceive of. And I do believe that fearless leaders standing on the precipice of perhaps being one of the principal catalysts, if not the principal catalysts for, if not winning the war, at least creating the parallel system that we're going to need to survive and not be slaves.
No, I get that.
Hey, that's to you, sir. You know, Richard Hart, we got nothing bad to say, man.
No. But today it's different. He's not like that in the Telegram anymore. He can't be. There's too much going on. He hardly responds to DMs. He doesn't stream like he used to during that time when Hex launched. Hopefully when Pulse Chain comes around, he goes back to that.
I think we will see a burst. Yeah.
And that's why it's different. Like back then we were not worried in the slightest. And because of that, I'm not worried now, but I can understand current new people that didn't see his behavior back then and only see what they see now, that is maybe not as close of a connection to Richard as what we had, because he was simply more approachable back then, even by little guys like me or whatever.
He's responded to me by my count 4 times. I think it was only one time that he gave me more than twice. He gave me one word.
Yeah, it's the one line.
One
but
time he gave
that's
me
what
one
I'm getting
sentence,
to.
and then the other time he said, "Oh yeah, that's really cool. Diesel Boy was the shit." Talking about drum and bass DJ from Philly.
Yeah, Diesel Boy. I know, from the UK.
But I'll tell you what, Cryptomatic, I think you'll appreciate this. And guys laugh at me. They literally make fun of me for this. You have no idea how meaningful it was to me the day that Richard Hart followed me. I could scarcely fucking believe it, dude. I was like, you know, and people were like, oh, you faggot, you fanboy. Why should another man validate you like that? I was like, guess what? Another man never could. But Richard Hart.
Yeah, it's very special. With me as well. He tuned into my DJ show on Twitch that I'm doing. And he was actually in the chat chatting with the guys about headphones and monitor speakers, which was hilarious. And that was the day he then also followed me. And then I got the DM from him for the London anniversary. He asked me, hey, do you want to DJ the London event? I was like, wow. Where can I plug in? Yes.
Wow. Hey, Hexographer's showing his true colors here. Have you seen Hip Hop Evolution on Netflix? He says that's his homies documentary, and he's actually the host of the thing.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Oh, okay.
It's like
now
11,
he brings
12
up Freestyle Fellowship
episodes.
Was a sing-songy jazz kind of hip hop group, and then brings up Lyricist Lounge. Hey,
Lyricist Lounge, Scratching Babito.
What's that right there? That's Don't Stop the Body Rock. That was on Raucous Records, which ended up being a rug pull on the underground. And then Hexy Quinn, I want you to know one thing I learned about Reggie. I think we can all assume that you'll be all right. The man loves feet. If you're a woman and you have feet and they're not banged up, Reggie Noble gonna fall in love with your ass.
His episodes of Cribs, MTV Cribs, was
when he was like homeless. It's like
he rented a random house just for that show, I think, and then he had
it's like
some
plastic on the windows.
Yeah, some loose clothes floating about. It was hilarious.
Your brother here, our brother, Sir Edward's Trichrome, shares the observation. It was painful, but the market was gutting us anyway, so that dulled the pain. All the alpha from RH the whole time was plenty to keep us fulfilled.
That is actually true. The market was in the same state as it's now, like after 1.5 years of downtime. Yeah, that's in the same. That is the same. Yeah, true.
I need a hand on Twitter with all the haters. Oh, is there a hater attack going on Twitter? Hey, chat. You guys have my permission to leave the stream and go destroy some people in the name of righteousness and truth. Crypto Journeyman with the call, man. Well done, bro. Well done. That was 7 minutes ago, 8 minutes ago. So join them over in Twitter if you must, guys. We won't take it personally because we want to hand those motherfuckers their ass in a can and send them back home crying. Shit was raw back then, Thoths, just like the early days you guys been speaking about. Okay. Raw. How would you define raw, Cryptomatic, man?
Raw. The guy who fingered Madonna. What's his name? From the Bronx. I forgot his name.
I never even knew about it. So
oh yeah, it's in the book. At the video shoot.
I'm done.
What's his name? Come on, give me the name, please. I'm gone blank.
Dennis Rodman.
No, Biz Marquis' boy. What's his name?
I just thought of a Dennis Rodman story.
No, the MC. Legendary MC. The tall guy. He had the song Raw.
Oh.
I get raw. Fuck.
I want to say fucking Rakim, but that wasn't Rakim.
It's the age, man. It's the age. We're losing names. This can't be real. I can't not be forgetting this guy. You know,
Hexographer, thank you for coming through, man. Give much love to that beautiful lady of yours, man. We're all sending good energy that way.
Topper says, "Who didn't finger Madonna?"
Hexy Quinn. See, I knew it. You could just tell with some girls. And she said Redman stood on her hand at a show with
his big ass foot.
Oh my God.
It's a crazy story.
Yeah, Elliot. Well done. Yeah, who didn't finger Madonna? I didn't.
What's the MC? This is for the lover in you.
This is killing you, huh?
Oh, it's killing me. The Mr. C remix.
Oh my God. Oh jeez.
Shit, let me Google it. About for the internet.
Can I ask your opinion on something that might not take too much brain power while you're doing that? Do you feel like throwing a prediction at us for launch?
When it's launching?
You asshole. Fucking Halarski came on stream the other day and he said, "I feel it in my bones." He said it's coming.
Big Daddy Kane. God damn.
Big Daddy Kane.
How can I forget his name? That's it.
You know, if we would have remembered Biz Marquis, we would have remembered Big Daddy Kane.
Biz Marquis, yes, Big Daddy Kane.
I said you
and Madonna, because he is in one of Madonna's songs.
And you say he's just a friend. Well, you say he's just a friend. Oh, baby, you.
That guy, yes.
Is he still alive? I hope he is.
No, Biz Marquis passed away last year.
Oh.
Yeah. Rest in peace.
Oh, fuck. We're getting older. That's all.
Right. So what were we talking? 𝕋𝕙𝕬𝕝𝕕.
Yeah, and I kind of jokingly asked you if you had a gut feeling
when
or
it's launching. I
prediction.
have no idea. This recent thing that came up that they figured out I'm not a coder, but this validated stuff.
Yeah.
That we're closer to a launch, but in the same sentence, he said that there'll be a testnet version 3, which
Okay, he did.
needs
I
to be
remember that. I
tested.
wonder.
So I'm not sure about 2 months. It's maybe February, March is maybe that's a good estimate. I don't know. But I'm also not thinking that he's timing the market. I think he will. He's also had enough of it, so I think he will get it out when he can get it out. But
hey, you zoom out far enough.
I have no inside knowledge. Like we DM sometimes, but I don't like. I wouldn't also dare.
No, I've not gotten the indication that any
kind
of you guys are like truly. So he's done a real good job as usual with his OPSEC, and
yeah,
it's to his credit. He's always had our greater, well-being at heart. I said heart. So there it is, man.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask if you want to hang out for a minute or two. I got to hit the head, and I was just gonna play maybe one or two of my original tracks I have in here.
Go ahead.
And then we can sort of wrap.
Sure.
Yeah, man. So I got a broken beaty thing. I got some out jazz heavy beat things. I got some hip hop things. I have one drum and bass remix of one of my guitar songs. I have some real lo-fi hip hop. I mean, what are you in the mood for, man?
The broken beat thing.
Okay, well, that would be the thick and thin. It actually sounded more Bugs in the Attic broken when I would layer this with another record, because that's another one for me that was about the clave. But this was a good spinal column for that tempo. And I think you guys who regularly attend the Mind Spray, you guys will recognize this. This was something that I laid down the headline for on the synth, and we just started building it. Me and a guy who I'm only allowed to refer to really as Roganoff. He's a guy I onboarded, but he doesn't want his what shall we say, legacy side name coming out just yet. But he's got like gold records and all that shit. But you'll hear the quality of engineer and producer my partner Roganoff is right here.
Run it.
Yeah, man. Run it. Oh my God! Thank God for that long fade on that one, man. You know, I'm bored of everything on here already. I think I have about 12 tracks, but I'm like already sick of most of them.
You might want to put the Madonna comment down.
Oh no, I was rather liking it.
You like that?
I was walking away. I was looking at it. I was like, that is some funny shit, dude. And then you go, oh, he left the and then you immediately apologize. You're like, thanks for sticking around. Free speech. I did not know, but I will gladly make way. Although I do have to tell you, for the greater part, I'm not necessarily certain that Big Pep and I share the same audiences.
No.
For the most part.
But there might be some overlap, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. There's always going to be around here. What did Hexy Quinn say? She said something so cute. Oh, there it is. It's like DJ's so cute, he gets shy. And it's like Thothschild. Thothschild never does. Thothschild never gets shy.
Too.
Like he could use some shy. Oh no, Alan, why? Alan, why?
Oh God, please. We had this was some serious hip hop.
Free speech. Having a good time. This was stream after stream. This is a great Mexican B-Day. Yeah, I'm gonna have to fucking chalk another one off on Saturday. That's like, I'd rather fucking go to a funeral than have a birthday anymore. My God, man.
Oh dear.
You understand?
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
So we still got 20 people in here. You have a final first mover question on your sheet.
Sheet? What sheet? I tend to like have some highfalutin hold on, I'll come back to you. I tend to have some highfalutin ideas that bounce around my head, and I mean to write them down, but I never do. And then I just go like extemporaneous. I did write down stuff for the triple shot because that was a lot to handle. Like,
yeah, I can imagine.
Who had the sacrifice phase? Who has limited supply? Who, that was just a lot of bullet points.
Yeah,
I had
the rags to riches. Yes.
Yeah, Hexastani and Hexy Bastard.
Hexy Bastard. Yeah.
Fiat, Poor Pleb, and Texan. That was a good stream, man.
Nice.
Yeah, I was very, very satisfied. And as always, I owe everything to like these guys and gals who come see me every week,
Yeah.
No matter what I'm going through, it's a beautiful thing.
We have so much left to talk about, like, all that other segment of like, follow Farrakhan. Don't tell me that you understand until you hear the man.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think, there's something to be said for the part 2, which could be first movers and the music talk, or you could come on the music show, or you could come on the conspiracy analysis show called Tinfoil Royals, or you could come, it's like, there's a lot of paths here.
I think I'm not fit enough for Tinfoil Royals. I think I need my own shit, but yeah, we have to work something out.
I like it, man. I like it.
Because I'm going a bit like, I'm down with that whole movement since Public Enemy. Because when you hear that stuff, Professor Griff, that is an entry level drug into that thing. And then once YouTube came around, you saw the famous bookstore presentations that Professor Griff did with his PowerPoint presentation that had 200 slides of the Illuminati and how you can spot them and see them. So I'm and then the Alex Jones later and all that, but nowadays I've kind of lost my way within that, because I was with that from very early on, but I've lost my way because of so much propaganda, and some of the stuff that gets thrown into the same bag is just not
the
true.
best way to make it ineffective
and
is to seed a bunch of bullshit.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. And so I wanted to kind of pick your brain, but this is opening up too many cans of worms. Now we're not going to do that, but I wanted to pick your brain. Really,
I don't mind if you're asking a question or two, brother.
On some of this stuff. Yeah,
I have my feelings, and It's always nice when a feeling is backed up by intelligence, wisdom, experience, but also passion of like testimony or belief. You know what I
Right.
mean? It needs all these different elements for it to really be something.
Mm.
I share the insight often, and you'll appreciate this because you've been in the game for a while. The people who came in through something like, for example, Q, the people who just found out that an alternative reality that would never on CBS or NBC or you know, or
Yep.
fucking your mainstream shit, they tend to be the types of noobs who want to believe everything that comes across their desk without any critical deductive reasoning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to tell you that there is a room at fucking Langley where they come up with this fucking stupid shit for you to waste time on. And then when
Right.
it's publicly proven to be a load of shit, what do people do? They throw out everything. It's so effective. Oh, it's such an effective psyop when they do that.
To kind of destroy it from within. The
Absolutely.
movement.
And this
Yeah,
is something, thank you. Now you're an OG. So thank you for saying this. This is something I worry about in Hexaco
yeah. In Hexaco, yeah, for sure.
because this has been one of my MOs since I came in, and people didn't like me for it because they were like, "You just got here. Shut the fuck up." And I was
Yeah,
like,
what do
"No,
you
but this is
know?
a
And
this is a
yeah.
real thing. This is a
It
real
is.
thing." I said,
Yeah,
"You
yeah.
guys have to think about that. JP Morgan hates this. The banks hate this. The Fed hates this. The World Economic Forum hates us.
Mm.
What are the attack vectors on us? Get real. Grow the fuck up and admit that it's possible. Once you're able to reckon with that, come with me and let's have a fucking talk."
Yeah.
Too many people were like, "Oh, a stink face. You know,
Mm.
I won't let that cross my consciousness because
Mm.
I do not want it to be so." Guess what,
Yeah.
motherfucker? I mean, wake up, Bucktooth, please. If they can't mutate an immutable code,
Yeah.
if they cannot place a counterparty risk where there is no middleman, if they cannot make fucking impermanent loss, if they cannot fucking break Richard's OPSEC, if they can't do
Mm.
this, they can't do this, they can't do this, guys, what can they do? They can put a guy in here with a charisma who talks with a forked tongue who gets y'all to be the rats behind Pied Piper.
Yep.
Or gets us all arguing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I loved your 12-part long tweet this morning.
Oh boy.
I really love that shit.
I'm glad you said so.
There's so much truth in that. Talking about truth bombs.
I think that's
the
kind
one
of why I
right
was
there.
in a bad mood when I came in because I'm like sleep deprived,
No,
I'm
but-
tired, I'm stressed out, a bunch of shit.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I look at before I come in here is a couple responses where it's like, I wish you were in a room with me. Is what I want to say to some of those people. You know?
No, but that's the thing where I also tagged you this morning where I'm like totally lost because we have people like that have a following on Twitter that
Yes.
would just retweet the craziest shit because it allegedly fits that freedom-seeking narrative.
Oh, I know. Yeah, okay.
You
I
know?
wasn't sure what the specific tweet was,
The
but I do.
specific there is very simple, like the specific because we're going through a thing in Germany right now with high energy prices and inflation, and it sooner or later it'll touch people's bags, and
Yeah.
probably not already now, but maybe come March, April, when people have to do the late payments on the energy, this might crush some households for real because it's like really a bad.
I heard you
we're in a
say
bad place
childhood
right
in
now.
Mannheim, but where are you? You don't have to dox yourself, but like
Yeah.
Berlin's a big city. Like, are you near Berlin or
No,
are
I'm near
you
Munich down south.
Munich?
Now.
Okay,
I'm
very
near,
good.
Near Munich down in the
Bayern.
south. Yes, where the beer is from, exactly.
When I was
You need
growing
to-
up, we picked them by the colors of our native team. So as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I always liked Borussia Dortmund because they were like black and gold.
the black and
Steelers were black
the
and
yellow,
Yeah.
black and yellow, black and yellow. No, but there was this guy who retweeted a clip from German police roughing up roughing up some dudes, like really beating them hard at a what looked like a demonstration, like on the floor, like really, you know, when a guy's already pinned down on the floor, and then
Yeah, and you're like,
they
stop.
beat
We
him one
got him.
more time. And then he headlined this video saying, "Oh, German. This is how German police treats peaceful protesters in Germany who are protesting against the high energy prices for the little guy or whatever." And
That
but
wasn't
then
it.
if you look deeper into the video, those were some. I mean, the video is real, but those were from a football game.
Oh my
in
God.
Hamburg City, where there were two conflicting soccer supporters, you know, going at each other, and then the police. I mean, in German, the police. I mean, it sounds corny when I just say they're also just doing their job, because, you know, there's some assholes there too, like in the American police. But I'm sure at a football thing, you've been asked politely to leave this space now to dissolve. And then if you don't adhere by the third or fourth time, and if you then start attacking the police, they go in hard. And then police at soccer matches in Germany is no joke. Like they beat you with the stick and ask questions.
Well, that's because the supporters clubs are no joke. I mean, my God, like I remember in Italy when Lazio's principal like supporters group was like proto-fascist dudes who were ready to kill people. Like that's no joke.
So one guy retweeted that under the umbrella of, you know, the truth-seeking movement, and I'm like, what the fuck? And there have been every day I see something like this that it's just not true, and this gets me then, because I see so much value in this, you know, double checking the media and having alternative ideas of, hey, it may be not like this what they are saying, there may be a different reality to that, but this shit muddies it all down.
Yeah,
you know?
it makes
so
it harder.
and that
You're
is
right.
I've seen so much of this in the past 2 years that I don't know where to navigate anymore in this. So
And
I
that
was
would be
wondering
mission accomplished. That would
what's
be
your
mission accomplished for them.
exactly. So you just gave me an idea there, what you said, that this is maybe, you know, agents or whatever who are trying
having
to,
you off balance
yeah,
and too tired to be committed to one way or another.
yeah.
Boy, that works out pretty good for them. You know. And
So
not
they
that
got
I'm
me, huh?
suggesting that you should commit in error, you know, either. We don't want that. You know, guys, it's we're all living through it together. So we all know it's a nuanced, sometimes complicated time. That's usually when I seek out HexMac. So, you know, if all 300,000 people in our community want to seek out HexMac, I'll be happy to give you some of his personal information and he can calm you down. I love you, Mac.
No, I know Mac. I know Mac. I know the story. We talk.
No, it's like
it's been a minute since we
breathe.
chatted, but I know.
Do something that humans do. Shit, shower, breathe, fuck, jog. You just do anything that's analog. You know, that's like really a good thing. I've learned that. Like I thought I was going to have to choke somebody out. I took a walk in the woods. I didn't feel like choking somebody out afterwards, you know? I didn't dox you. I just said the entire community should
he's
seek
still
you
around.
out.
No, but I'm seeing so much of that, and it frustrates me that the Hexicans don't see that, and they would just retweet any old shit because it fits that narrative, and we should be better. Like we should really only be putting things out there when it's true and when it's like, you know, when it's
I
real.
got
So that is my
myself so
issue.
worked up about the higher standard and Hexaco thing, bro.
Yeah,
it's hard for me to hold on to it. You know,
yeah, well,
I'm like, oh, there's pieces of shit in the world. Oh, there's pieces of shit in Hexaco. I wanted to think that we were above it. We were transcendent, but
yeah, I had high hopes too in that first year. Yes, sir.
Maybe the crossroads is coming, and it'll be like, you remember how there was Superman, and then there was like Superman in the alternative, like, like get up, like you know, maybe there'll be like Hex that tries to be legacy, and then they all end up being CBDC people who have to take do whatever and do whatever. And then you'll have like parallel. We're like, okay, we're over here and we're not going to fuck with you. Don't you dare try and fuck with us, because we have enough money to buy tanks now. You know what I mean? It's just like, we're going to exist like you guys exist.
We had one in Vegas already.
I heard that. Yeah. I saw that.
With RG3 giving like the war speech on top of the tank. Oh, man.
I would follow RG3 in a battle, I think. Probably I would.
He is a true leader. Yeah,
true believer,
natural leader,
hype man. Yeah, and he does. You know, it's like he and I aren't going to be congruous all the time, but I occupy a role. He occupies a role. I couldn't do what he does. I don't think he could do what I do. So I got a lot of respect for the man. And there are guys in this community who it's never going to be this clear cut. But if push came to shove and we needed to lock shields, I know who I would follow. I do. You know.
Yeah, 100%.
If Richard couldn't make the date. You know.
Yeah.
Well, guys, this was the second official version of a feature on Mind Spray that I'm calling First Movers. Unofficially, I have to always give credit to BALLIET BRAN, because I did my test stream, episode 1. I said, will you come on with me? It'll lend some credence and credit, validity, and respect to what I'm trying to do. You didn't hesitate. And that's BALLIET BRAN, and we all know it. So he was kind of technically my first. And then KNTX
is a very good first.
Yeah. And then KNTX didn't hesitate.
Big support of my channel when on Twitch, when I started to get it off the ground, and BALLIET BRAN was there, and he was supporting, and he was retweeting, and like he managed to get my channel going in those first weeks.
And I want to, a lot of people have that same story, Cryptomatic, about BALLIET BRAN. Now I want to tell you all something about the brother. I know that our tendency is to reach out and try and comfort and take care of our people. I think BALLIET BRAN has served well, and I think he's allowed to have a sabbatical. And I want to tell you all, if you really, really love and care about Bran, I would say my best advice to you right now is just back the fuck off. Like, let the kid enjoy being in his early 20s for a minute, like
imagine being in your early 20s, being involved in something like this.
Dude, I literally would stick my penis in a hole in the wall when I was his age. If you put a rock of something in a pipe, I would smoke it. I didn't care. I would drive with the headlights off on a highway. Like, stupid. Like, God bless his composure.
Yeah.
God bless who he is. God damn.
I mean, I'm in my late 40s. For me, this game is about getting out the red race a little bit earlier than they want me to. Like, that is my goal. But if you were in the early 20s, having this opportunity and all the life ahead of you, I mean, I'm jealous of these guys.
But I'll tell you what, I would be like, how am I going to fuck this up? That's what I would have probably thought. Like, oh my God, how am I going to fuck this up? So thank God a lot of them have the personalities that are built for it.
Yeah. No, it was really some figures there. It was him. It was Nardo for the win. Children of the Grave, who was here earlier.
Well, yeah, and I was hard on him. I'm sorry.
No, BALLIET from the UK, and this Hex Togoshi guy who is behind the Hex Streamers website and the postcard project as well. Like those names, those guys, they were the first who discovered me on Twitch and like, oh, you're streaming about Hex. Hey, this is cool. What you're doing. And, just my music shows, because I wanted to use the music and the DJing to branch out, not really play for Hexicans. This was supposed for other people who are music enthusiasts to get them on stream during the pandemic, during my shows, and then shill Hex to them. So that is kind of the idea behind my mix shows that
okay.
A week. But of course, I need a certain, like you need followers on your YouTube, otherwise you don't get it off the ground. And it's the same with on Twitch is even harder of a numbers game. You need a base viewership to really get anywhere at all to really be seen.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I haven't had the space to contribute to that effort. I should do that. It's going to be fresh in the forefront of my mind now.
No, but it's those guys who like really helped me
thin.
get it all off the ground. And then later was Cabana Crypto and Crypto Vince who saw me, and they're like, "Hey, this is cool. You're DJing for Hex.
That Crypto Vince has a heart of gold."
He is amazing guy, and I'm so glad I met him in person in Vegas too.
You met him in prison? I didn't know you guys.
Yeah, I did. He was on that last day. On that last day I met him here. All of a sudden he showed up in the parking lot. I was like, "Hey, you Crypto Vince." Like, then like we hugged, and this was really cool because I've only known him from from chats and stuff. And so yeah, they put me on the Cabana Crypto happy hour on a Friday, and that they gave me my break basically in the Hex community, and that's how I got known. So usually guys go through the FN Hangout, Discourse Syndicate, and get their break through that and introduce themselves to the community. So I came from the other end through Cabana and Crypto Vince, and I only met up with RG and KNTX a lot later. So I came through a different, Motley.
Yeah,
who was
me
here
too, man. Me too. I got the co-sign of Wales, bro. Like, how lucky was I that Wales was like, "Come on," and then he was like, "Come on again, come on again, come on again." I was like, "Are you serious?"
No, Wales is like that. Yeah.
I was so fortunate. Yeah. So it was Wales who kind of gave me my tut.
Yeah.
Now, people see my frustration sometimes that I have with the community and some of the fights I find myself in. I've had some people in my personal life tell me, "What are you doing, man? Like, your writing isn't going to go away. Your speaking isn't going to go away. Your music isn't going to go away. Get the fuck out of fucking Hexaco and be who you are, and don't be limited by that community." And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I see what they're saying, and I don't see any reason why somebody has to be a Hexagon or a Pulse-Chaniac to be into what I'm doing. But I feel
I got both here on my
yeah, man.
on my t-shirt.
I feel a loyalty to this community, like,
yeah,
whatever it is I'm trying to do, I feel like my base layer is you guys.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to actually put into words for being the articulator that I am, but I would never. Some of the things that I've seen some people do, I simply just would never be able to do. In fact, I'd probably just never talk about crypto again, as opposed to just jump ship, over to another, thing, like just right away. Be like, "Yeah, hey guys, this is Thothschild, and I'd really like to tell you about the upside of Ripple today."
Like I cannot do this. For me, it's very simple because Richard follows me on Twitter, and he has put me on his Twitter list. Like, the being put on his Twitter list is even the bigger deal to me than.
Oh, so I have something to shoot for.
And yeah. Oh, you're not on that list, huh?
I don't know. I don't know what the list is.
Be on that
follows
list, bro.
What's the list?
Because like Hexagons whose content or whatever he deems worthy, he puts on that Twitter list of his, and a lot of people read just that list if they want to get informed about.
I don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth, man. I think I'm kind of tempting fate that he follows me. I am
maybe I
pretty
can put in a word.
I'm pretty controversial.
No,
ladies and gentlemen, yeah.
But listen, the minute he puts you on this list, it's over for you. So you cannot, at least on Twitter, on a live stream, you can maybe talk about other crypto, but on Twitter, you may be able to put the odd tweet about Bitcoin out, but that's it. Like, if you start shilling any other thing, he would immediately.
I don't think I ever have. Basically, the premise of yesterday was talking about Pulse Chain products. That's what I was doing. I wasn't saying.
No, it's very selective. So, but I value the relationship that I have with Richard, like the one-liners that I'm also getting, and he made me a moderator on his YouTube channel as well. So I'm watching the comment section for him. This is what I'm doing in the background. So I value that relationship so much more than ever shilling some shitcoin. Like, I would never do that.
All right.
You know?
Well, something I
But
noticed about
those
Richard.
are the rules. Like if I want to be free and do whatever, then I have to suffer the consequence that I'd be thrown off that list and get the unfollow. But that's not,
That's not in the plans. That's not in the cards.
No, sir.
One thing I've noticed about Richard's level of OPSEC is he will practice keep your enemies close. He does. Don't think that just because you're a guy who got a thing, and I'm not talking to you, I'm just thinking of a couple other people. I know for a fact Richard Hart believes in the axiom. Some of you guys that are highfalutin about this stuff, guess what? Keeping an eye on your ass.
Yeah.
He's waiting to find out the truth.
And he's watching. He's watching around. He hears everything. He sees everything.
Yes, he does. It seems he does.
I don't know how he does it, but he does it. So,
well, it's these narcs like Hexy Quinn, and Mac here. These fucking narcs. Just kidding. I'm completely kidding. Okay, I'm gonna pass out. No, I'm not, but I am gonna. My head's gonna hit the desk soon. Guys, thank you so much for coming out. We're going to have a virtual round of applause for DJ CRYPTOMATIC. Thank you for all you do for the community, man.
Thanks for having me,
bro. It was a delight, dude. Talking this history with you was a delight, brother.
We went in on the 90s hip-hop, man, and the 80s.
And the 2000s even.
We got to do this again, man. Thanks so much for having me.
Dude, you humble me. Thank you for coming to my platform, to my channel, and being with me. Every time I'm with one of you guys that are like of that substantive quality, it just lifts me up. It makes me believe, and your cosign gives me viability in the eyes of others. I'm not so ignorant as to not realize that as well. So, my brother. Namaste. What should we go out with? We're gonna go out with a little something. I don't know. This has really been the track, man. And this is the rap version of what's kind of become the lead track. The MCs are myself and Melee Sparks, who was also known as the Rebel Rashid from a group called the Ill Advised in Philadelphia. His verse is extremely creative when he's talking about huffing on nitrous balloons and popping no does up in the studios with his runny nose. You guys can kind of guess what all that means, but
you know how Philly hang when it's time to get extravagant.
Oh boy, here he goes. This German kid, man, he knows a lot of shit, doesn't he? All right, guys, thanks for coming. Hey,
cheers, guys. Thank you, chat.
Good things drop blessings. Check this out, kids. Take a ride. Ready in the room, I'm rocking to the rap, the champion, the trap, the trailer parks. Fuck my captor. I'm in church with my craft, you know I have to. Induce events coming current like a rap star. Don't treat it like a rubber crap show. Can't respect the rappers when they pimp the pop pool. You better study, buddy, or swim begin. Don't be acting as you going and begin. You wanna be without, son? Look within. The shit is muscle bound, the script's a little thin. Concocted images are hard when you're scared. When you wasn't hell, man, no one cared. I seen this one rap fool with these whack tattoos, dressed like a lady, but for fat Adam's apple. Listen up, you better not act. You may magnetize what you don't want to attract. Most of you hotheads should pop the lie then, or Oxycontin instead of hitting rock stems. It's funny when the cycles go out trifle, like grabbable rifles after smoking a pipe fall.
Mr. Melee Sparks, table is ready.
You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling good tonight, so I'll take two of those. Give me two of these and two of those over there. Word, check it out, yo. Perennial, swallowed the Seminoles chemicals. Now it's vivid to them. Too much beer to have to chew on. Ric Flair jeans, North Face vest, British Columbian. Tapped out, huffing on a tank, my mind blank. My total tolerance is null and void. Heaven's the Megatroid. The glow sticks got me annoyed. From Pink Floyd to Frank Zappa. Catch ride with the toe tapper. Hung over on the day after. The wrinkle party clothes, a runny nose, but I'm groovy though. Popping no doors up in the studio. With the records you beckon, the selection you giving. If you ain't fucking with us, it ain't hitting. For instance, check sound scan, pre-order shipments. Cause mom and pop stores with a commitment to stick with underground heads who got equipment. Who face with making dope music from the basement.
Oh shit!
I don't speak on rules and sometimes think with my penis. I blend seeds with the greenest. I lock onto the meanest. I pop the top of boomies. Call that betray your stories. They thought they were so gully. See them in the Philly alley. You see, I am the truest. My thoughts come through you filled with some kids. Aspire to thoughts, almost aspire to be a Buddhist. Really rather Sufi master. Baba Muhayyadi. Stepping like Lewis, looked into my life and threw it. I grew up with lots of crackers who acted like fucking actors, stacking chips and eating stacker. Now they're not even a factor. I am really always Macoon, but through the wicker. That's why my rhymes are sicker. Sentiments with style was thicker. In a country filled with zombies, Georgie got the flam. Johnny's calling neighbor chickens commies. The soup's a noodle kanji. Truly wears roll the rulers. Creep like kitties up the stoops. I wonder why they sweat the coolers. A block is sweating bullets. The park got more sections. One side is for Mexicans, other side Cameron County and house gangsters are reppin'. The blacks say fuck them all. The whites unsavory poultry. Drive past them all like I'm Emerson Fittipaldi. Guess to see the truth sometimes you gotta be some racist. The kicks fit tight even when they got no laces. The hippest step is fresh is leftist reppin' in the tempest. The city circus incursions make me nervous, turns to worthless. Our love is like a flock of doves flying up to heaven above. They attack the rapper, crapple prisoners' heads and burn out stacks with max and facts. Again with taxi taxi, freak of whack. Cities will whack the way I track. So why the fuck we interact, son? I'm Mr. Magic, Melee Sparks, PC Dream. The one man yo-yo pop.
Bye bye.